Alright guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So, let's talk about everything that's going on and what you need to be doing. Actually, we're not going to be talking about everything that's going on. There's plenty of news and information out there for you guys. You can see what is coming our way. I myself have been covering a lot of this news. Other YouTubers, they've been better contacts, things like that, and they've been able to cover it better than me. One of the things I have noticed here on YouTube is that the answers that preppers are looking for, the encouragement to prep, has been falling between the lines. We've been so wrapped up with following the USS Carney, the drone attacks, they're knocking out 14 drones, I believe it was yesterday. We're watching all this stuff. We're seeing all the increase in the budget funding for this war with helping aid Ukraine against Russia and all this great stuff. But we're forgetting the most important part: being prepared. Now guys, what we have here is my day off. That's right, I got a day off today and went to the store. So we have dried goods. We're Mylaring this stuff up today, guys. One of the things I want to discuss, and I see it a lot on my channel, is people will take a product or an idea and that is their whole preparedness. Okay, I like to use Mylar for dry goods. Works great, love it. Put an O2 absorber in, it's going to last a very long time. Other people like to use glass jars, mason jars. You can seal those up with a vacuum sealer attachment for that particular idea. Works great. It works great for many different applications. I see the canned goods. We stock up canned goods. Now that is spam. I know. I love spam. A lot of people don't. We have freeze-dried food. This is our fillets for Patriot. That's freeze-dried chicken. 25-year shelf life. Frozen meats. Yeah, this is one of our local Piggly Wiggly brands. That's mild sausage. All these are options for preppers, and I encourage you to utilize all these options. Not just put everything in freeze-dried food, which we have a lot of. I love the idea. 25-year shelf life is great. But don't put everything in one basket. Everything Mylar. Yeah, it's going to last a long time, but you are limited on what you're storing. Canned goods last a very long time if stored correctly. Way past the best by date, which is a manufacturer BS date. Okay? And expiration dates, I have to be careful how I say this on this platform due to liability issues. Alright? Because I don't want anybody getting botulism. Canned goods can last much longer. Not every canned good, but a lot of the ingredients can. Alright? It all depends on your storage. Okay, if you have fluctuating temperatures, they're not going to last as long. Keep it stored correctly. When it comes to frozen, this is sausage. Great idea. Frozen meat lasts a very long time, as long as you can keep power to it. We have solar. We have EMP protection on our solar. We have solar generators. We have gasoline generators. We have ways of keeping frozen food frozen for a very long time. I live in Florida, so we don't have any snow banks to go stuff sausage and stuff like that in. And if you're doing that in the northern states, they used to do that years ago, but you also have to be vigilant on watching your predators and rodents and things like that entering your area to get your stockpile. Okay? Speaking of rodents, I'm going to discuss this with you guys because I've seen the comments with the Mylar. People say that they are having problems with mice and rats and stuff like that getting into their dried goods, their beans and stuff. My recommendation, one, if you have a rodent problem, take care of that before you start prepping and stockpiling food. Okay? Because they will find it. Alright? They're animals, are scavengers. They will find your stuff. You need to address that issue and take it out. Get some decon, whatever, stick traps, whatever it is that you need to do, make it happen. Second, when you make your stockpile of food, your normal food, dry goods, stuff like that, this is stuff that we use. Okay, this is a rotational stock. In other words, we don't just shove it in a hole somewhere and forget about it. Now, we do have caches of food that we store in different locations. I'll keep it all in one spot. After having a house fire, I lost all that stuff. We don't keep everything in one spot. You have to get out there and move your stock. If it's rotational stock, when it's disturbed, rodents and stuff like that do not like to be around there. Now, if you store this stuff for months at a time and never touch it, never even get near it, you're going to have problems. You have to rotate this stuff out. It's an active lifestyle as a prepper. If you don't want to be active lifestyle of a prepper, then don't store Mylar. Go get you a whole bunch of freeze-dried food. Come in cases and everything else. You can tuck it away somewhere and forget about it till you need it. But when it comes to canned goods, frozen foods, dry goods, and Mylar, you have to be active and constantly work with this. You're constantly moving it. When it's meal time, all right, we're having rice and beans this week, whatever. Get your meals planned out. That's what we do as prep. We don't just buy a whole bunch of stuff. We prep as meal plan caloric intake. We're looking at these meals, making these plans out. Now, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to go ahead and seal this stuff up. I have all kind of really great stuff. I need to put this in the freezer, actually, before it gets water everywhere. Move all this out. We are using Wallabies. It is a Mylar company that we are affiliated with. I don't know if you guys can see that over there. You don't have to use Wallabies if you don't want to. I like their products. They last a very long time, very good quality. That's why we use them. If you use our links, sometimes you get a special discount on it. There should be a code up there for you guys for that. So what we have here, guys, we have white rice. They got everything dated, ready to go. That's 5 pounds of white rice here. We're going to get O2 absorbers in there and seal it up. We have our Wallaby sealer right here. These are the 7.5 mil bags. We also have pinto beans, another 5 pound bag of pintos. Guys, I'm telling you right now, you need to be stockpiling food as much as possible. If you don't eat pintos, you don't eat rice, which are pretty much the staples of preppers, don't stockpile this stuff up, as far as that's what you're going to be relying on. Unless you start eating it now, get used to it. I will say this much. If you are hungry, your family's hungry, you'll eat anything unless you're deathly allergic to it. And in a starving situation, people have done it. Now they have had reactions. Some have died because they were eating food that they have reactions to. If you don't have any food allergies, stock it up. You're going to eat it. When it comes down to it, you're going to eat it. We have Great Northern beans. These are actually really good. We stock up a lot of beans, rice, sugar, salts, flour, you name it. We do it because we cook here at the house all the time. We don't really go out to eat. Maybe special occasions, but not very often. We have lima beans. I freaking love lima beans, and red kidney beans are my favorite out of all of them. So, of course, we got a lot of stock in that. Rice as well. I've shown taking rice out, cooking out in the woods and stuff. It takes about 20 minutes. Right there, campfire. We have propane, all that stuff here that we can cook with. We can cook with our solar. So even if the power goes down, we have the availability to cook. Now, there will be those responses, those comments. If you're the only person cooking food, the masses will come. Yes, of course they will, but you're a prepper for a reason. When it comes down to that, you may have to swag somebody to protect your family. Don't live in the fantasy world that you're going to be sitting in a corner somewhere with all your lights out, eating a can of Spam in the dark because you're too damn scared to start a fire or turn on your solar generators, whatever, to cook with. When it comes down to it, yes, there's going to be some bad stuff happening, guys. And I cannot give you the moral compass on what to do. That is between you and God Almighty. Me, I'm perfectly fine with protecting my family at all means necessary. Now, does that mean I just walk over people when I see them that they're in need? No, of course not. But when it comes to a survival situation, I can read the elements. I can read what's going on when it comes to protecting my family against a possible threat. My family comes first. And the choice is yours on that. And of course, my red kidney beans. That's a 5 pound bag here. Freaking love red kidney beans. You can grow this stuff. And we show them videos growing most of these beans and stuff in our gardens. Some caution for you guys. Green beans and stuff like that, you can eat right off the vine. Red kidney beans, do not eat them raw, straight off a vine. They actually can be poisonous to you as a human. You got to process it. You got to dry them out and stuff like that. So don't just go out to the plants. I mean, I grow these all the time, but you got to cook them. You cannot eat red kidney beans raw. As they are right now, they are dried. Once they are cooked, they are palatable. You can eat them. No worries at all. It's one of my favorite beans that are out there. next to limas. Lima beans on rice with some salt. Oh yeah, great. So, no more yah-yah. We're going to go ahead and get into this, guys. And I encourage you, if you're not doing Mylar, I encourage you to go to the stores, get some canned goods. If you don't like Spam, don't buy Spam, okay? I like Spam. I fry it up, I eat it raw. Doesn't matter. Right out of the can, I do not care. I know, I'm savage. Get what you like to eat, but don't just store a whole bunch of canned goods on a shelf and forget about it, and then 5 years, 6 years later go, oh man, this stuff's already gone bad. You use it in rotational stock. I will tell you this much. I got a 5-year date on this, 4-year date on this. It's going to be good long after that, as long as that pop top doesn't pop. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, a lot of the canned goods have went to that, and I believe it's a conspiracy because, you know, I'm a prepper. I think they'd done that so we could not store up a lot of it. Anyway, let's get it stored. Alright guys, so get our O2 absorber out here. Easiest way to check on these O2 absorbers, they come with a nice little air indicator. Right now it's pink. It'll turn a dark color once it's exposed to air, showing that it was sealed good. Always check your O2 absorbers. As long as they are nice and loose, they are going to work just fine. Drop that in there. Now what I do with mine, I like to do a brick action with mine, which means I'm going to take it, let me get as much air out as I can. Ziplock this, because these here, that hurt, these here have a Ziploc. They got a gusset bottom. Now I'm going to open up one of the corners. Makes it easier to get the rest of that air out. Just like this. Set it in place. Lock it down. I'm watching my red light over here on the right hand side. Hold it for a little while. And now we are sealed. Make sure all of that is sealed up there. And now we got 5 pounds of Great Northern beans sealed. And just continue to do so all the way down the line. Alright guys, so what I usually do after I get everything sealed up, I'll put them in a location, I'll stack them, and it seems to help with that. As I've shown in videos in the past, there should be a video popping up somewhere up here for you. It gets that real hard brick effect in my Mylar. I've never had an issue with it. If you don't get that brick effect on it, it does not mean that you've done it incorrectly. It's just that's how I get it done. And I'll find a place to set these up for a few days, and that way I can see everything pull down tight with the O2 absorber in here, and then after that, then I move it into my stocks. So I'm going to go move this stuff here in a minute. I just want to encourage you guys to work on, continue to prep, okay? Keep up with the news, absolutely. Watch it, see what's going on, but continue to prep accordingly. Don't go get a loan, don't sell your home, don't do all this stuff to go buy preps. Just make some sacrifices. If you still going to Starbucks and Dunkin's, if you cut that out, you can get some rice and beans put back. You don't have to do it forever. Personally, I encourage you to brew your own coffee. Yeah, that's Kevlar Joe, by the way. Really good coffee. Right there at the house, just put that money towards prep, okay? If you are in need of medical equipment that uses electricity to stay alive, you need to be working on alternative power as much as possible. And again, when it goes to like frozen foods, that's a great way to stockpile. It is. Meats last a very long time when you get that deep freeze in that sucker. You have to have power. Alright? Gasoline generators aren't going to last so long until the gas is gone. Solar generators, good size one, yes. It can definitely power one up. You have solar panels to replace it. Having a solar grid, you got power. Alright? Will you have to defend your property? Will you have to defend your supplies? Yes, you will. Always have a backup plan, even a bug out plan. I know people don't want to talk about these things because, quite frankly, it is rough. It's a lot of physical exertion. A lot of people, unfortunately, have disabilities, They're taking care of elderly, young children, things like that. Yeah, I don't recommend running to the woods to go survive with a newborn or people in wheelchair and stuff like that. But you do need an escape plan, and that's what's called bugging out is. I would chance it in a life and death situation than just to sit there and just get mowed down or burned out. I would take the chance. But that's just me. Alright guys, please continue to prep. Speak to y'all later.